Hi everyone, this video is for anyone on trying to fill on RoDARS application, and this is a guide on how to fill the same. So the first thing, when you go to your login page, you might need to visit our RoDARS website in here. When you go to our RoDARS website in here, you will be able to see under the application section, you will be able to see different kind of forms. Right now we have 8 different forms, and based on the description, you will select the appropriate form related to your work. Uh, if you have any confusion on which form you need to select, please contact us at rodars@toronto.ca and we will guide you through it. Once you click, once you have decided this is the form I want to go through it, you'll select the form and it will take you to the form right away. Uh, and I'm going to go through some of the different details of the form itself. So first is the applicant details itself. You need to fill out all the applicant details. Most of the time it will be pre-filled based on the login details itself. Then there's applicant project manager details. Then there's asset owner details. So asset owner means whoever you are working on behalf of or whoever you're working on the asset of. So if you're working for Toronto Hydro on Toronto Hydro asset, it will be Toronto Hydro, details in here. If it's Toronto Water, it will be Toronto Water, and so on. In Form 2, we have, instead of asset owner, we have the developer details. So Form 2 is related to our, to give you context here, Form 2 is related to for a developer initiated projects. So in Form 2, instead of asset owner, you will see developer details and developer project manager details which you need to fill out. All these fields are mandatory, so it's important you fill these out. The date and time, I'll go through it, but just to give you context, this date and time is the overall duration of the project. So overall date and time of the duration of the project. And then coming to other fields, which is the city permit, which is mandatory. You have to pre-fill your city permit number in here. It's mandatory for all the forms except Form 1 SOP and Form 2, where you can fill out the RoDARS before the city permit is issued. But other than that, it's mandatory for you to fill out the city permit details for all of the forms before you apply for the RoDARS. And you'll upload the same in the file upload section. Similar to that, you need to upload the traffic management plan. We also have a template sample in case you are confused what kind of traffic management plan city is expecting. And then you have some other files which is related to Metrolinx corridor development permit or no conflict response letter, whatever is appropriate in your particular case. So now going back to the traffic impact section, so first of all, I just want to clarify how to fill in single application and how to fill in multiple applications. So as I noted that this is the overall duration of the project. So for example, I've clicked 6 and it will trigger me to be an expedited applications. So again, going back to our web page in here, if you go to the fee section, if your application falls within this bracket, you will be applied the expedited fee. Otherwise, you will not be applied the same. So I selected here 6th of October to 15th of October. Start time, let's say 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. Right? Once I do that, I'm now going to select the first closure. So let's start with Mount Pleasant Road in here. This is the first closure that I can select. I'll go through the uh, details of the icons one by one, but here I'm just trying to tell you how to fill in multiple applications and how to fill in single applications. So again, you select the length of the closure by right-clicking once, right-clicking twice. You select the length of the closure in here. You select the dates in here, and you select the reoccurrence type, that is continuous, daily, weekdays, based on the type of closure you are having, and then save the application. So this is how it will be reflected as single application. Now, if you want to fill another one, you need to right click again once, right click again twice, and you will fill out whatever traffic impact closure is in there, and will save the application. So that's how you submit like multiple applications and or a single application, whatever is the case for you, right? Now I want to go through like details of different sections in here, right? Different icons in here in the traffic impact section. So um, the starting ones are pretty self-explanatory: sidewalk, normal lane close. Shoulder open and shoulder lane close will generally be used in expressways, um, not in general minor arterial roads. So a curb lane will not be identified as a shoulder lane. We will just identify it as a normal lane. Similar to that, a parking lane will also be identified as a simple normal lane. Similar to that, we have HOV lane, bicycle lane, left turn lane, buffer lane, uh, and buffer lane closed. There are two sections here: alternating lane open and opposite side lane open. So we use alternating lane open in cases we are using the traffic control persons to maintain the bi-directional traffic. So if you have two TCPs around your work zone, you will be using the alternating lane open section here. But if you are pushing your whole section to the other side, so for example, in here you're closing whole of the eastbound and you're pushing your traffic to the westbound side, you will use the opposite side lane open button in here. Another thing I want to point out is whenever you're feeding these details in here, first thing which I think will be helpful for you guys is to get the cross section of the road. So you right click once, right click twice, get the length of the closure, and then you need to put in the what's the type of the cross section of the road. So Mount Pleasant Road, I know there are two lanes in here, and the sidewalk is on the right hand side. And this traffic impact section is from the driver's perspective. So I'm going on northbound, and what I see a sidewalk on my right hand side, and I'm in the middle lane, and I see another normal lane open on my left hand side. Similar to that on southbound, I'm going in. I'm a sidewalk. I'm a pedestrian going on sidewalk, and I will see two lanes on my left hand side here. So both of these sections are based on the driver's perspective, not on the cross section of the road. So just want to clarify here. So for example, if you are submitting uh, multiple phases in here, you need to be cognizant of the dates in here as I've defined earlier. So if I've selected the total duration of date 6th of October to 15th of October and I have two phases, so my first phase might be 6th of October to 10th of October. That's my first phase in here, and I'm going to close the normal lane in here. I'm going to select the continuous. I'm going to save the application, and then I'm going to select right click once, right click twice, another section of the road in here. I'll select the normal lane close in here, and my phasing will be, so I have already set it 10th of October. My total duration of project is till 15th of October. So what I'll do is it will be 10th of October to, 11th of October to 15th of October. That will be my closure, right? And that's how I will select multiple TMPs, right? Again, just be cognizant that these dates in here, the duration dates you see in here, should fall in the window of the total duration of the project, right? If these days doesn't match, you will get an error message and the application will not, the system will not let you save the application. So be very, very cognizant of the same in here. Now I will go through some of the examples from the OTM book 7 and go through each of the scenarios in here. So let's go through one by one. Let's go with the first one in here. Pretty simple closure. One lane is being closed, and the other lane, on the other lane, we have two TCPs controlling the bidirectional traffic. So what I will do, for example, I'll take the example here, right click once, right click twice, and I know I'm closing the normal lane in here. The sidewalk is open, and what I'm doing, so if this northbound lane is open, on the southbound side, I'm using the alternating lane open, right? So this is how I will represent, this particular simple closure in here uh, for the traffic impact section. Again, selecting the right dates, selecting the occurrence, and I'll save it. Right, that's how you represent this particular closure in here. Okay, coming back to the other closure in here. So let's take the example of the sidewalk closure in here, right? So let's say the same road, right click once, right click twice. I selected 31-meter section here. I know sidewalk is closed. And as soon as you click sidewalk closure button, you will see a drop down menu appear in front of you, which have two options: protected pathway provided and detour path provided. So if you are closing the lane in here, right, to provide a to provide a protected pathway for continuous pedestrian movement, right, then I will select protected pathway, right? But if I am detouring the pedestrians, which is the case in here, where I'm asking them, I don't have any space in here. I'm not going to close the lane to give you a continuous pedestrian movement. I don't have a space on the other side of the grass boulevard. So I'm diverting you through the crosswalk. So in this particular case, I would select detour path provided, right? Uh, but if I was to, provide a protected pathway in here, I'll select this section. If I'm doing through a grass boulevard on the other side, so assuming there's a grass boulevard on this side, and I might be providing a continuous pedestrian movement from this side, then no other action. But if I am closing a lane to provide the same, I'll select the lane closure in here as well. So that's how the pedestrian movements are reflected on the traffic management plan, right? Going to the third example in here, which we have the cycle lane. So again, assuming I am going to select this time uh, Eglinton Avenue, right? So if I select Eglinton Avenue in here, uh, I know there's a size bicycle lane open in here. So say bicycle lane open, similar to this. I know there's a bicycle lane on right hand side, bicycle lane open. What I'm doing in here, I'm the pedestrian, like the bicycle lane is closed. Okay. And again, as soon as you click the bicycle lane closed, it will give you three options similar to pedestrian closures. Uh, Protected pathway provided, detour pathway provided, and merge with other traffic. So this is pretty simple, clear here, right? So in here, what we are asking cyclists is to merge with other traffic. We are detouring them to a live lane. And asking them to go in a single file. So we're asking them to merge with other traffic. So in here, I will select merge with other traffic, right? If I'm asking the cyclists to go on the lane or to go to dismount and go to the nearest crosswalk, cross and make a cross and continue the journey through the other side of the road, I will select uh, detour path provided, right? But if I'm closing the lane, right, to give them a continuous cyclist movement, which is the scenario right here, where I'm closing the bicycle lane. My work area is right on the bicycle lane and I'm closing it. But what I'm doing is I'm closing one lane also to provide them the protected pathway here. So in this scenario, what I will do is I'll close the bicycle lane, I'll select protected pathway provided, and then I will select normal lane close, right? So this is how it will be represented at this scenario in the traffic impact section, right? Uh, let's go with some of the other examples now. So we have gone through the pedestrian closure, bicycle closure. Let's look at the intersection closure. So in here, I can see my work area is one, but I am doing two different closures. So it comes to the time of multiple phases in here, right? Or multiple TMPs. So in here, if my work is, for example, Mount Pleasant Road and Eglinton, I'll close the Mount Pleasant Road one section. What I will do, I know I am closing one lane in here, and on the other side, I'm using the bidirectional traffic control. Sorry. I'm using the alternating lane traffic using the TCPs. So I'll select the alternating lane open here, and I'll save the application continuous, save the application, right? And then I know I am also closing the Eglinton here, right? So I'm going to select another section here, right click once, right click twice, and I select the section here, normal lane closed in here, normal lane closed. Uh, and by the way, because we are doing both of these closure at the same time, that's why the dates are going to be the same in here, the 6th of October to 15th of October. But if it would have been different phases, the dates have to be different, right? In this scenario, the dates are going to be the same just because it's for the same closure, right? So voila, that's how you will see, two two closures regarding the same work area. Again, if it would have been different phases, the dates needs to be different. So these dates right here, as you see, as I've said earlier also, these are the phasing dates. These are not the overall duration projected. These are the phasing dates, and they have to be reflected with the same. Okay, this example is done. Going to the other example right here, the left lane close in here. I think this is also one simple closure and really reoccurring scenario in here. So let's go through this. So for example, I'm closing Eglinton, right click once, right click twice. I know there are two lanes in here, two lanes in here. That's the cross section of the road that I'm first going to define. Now I'm going to see the type of closure. Okay, I'm closing one eastbound lane in here, right? So I'll close the one eastbound lane in here, and that's it. That's all I need to know because we know that the other lane is open for the traffic, right? But if I'm closing both of my eastbound lanes, right? I'm closing both of these eastbound lanes in here. Where is my eastbound traffic going to go? It's going to go on the west side. So we are going to use the two lanes on the west side. One lane will be dedicated still to the westbound and one lane will be dedicated to the eastbound traffic. So how we reflect that in here? So in here, we know that the westbound one lane is still open. And the other one, what I will do is I'll select in here and say opposite side lane open. So this means that the eastbound Eglinton is going to the opposite side lane in here. And for the westbound side, that particular lane is going to be the closed, right? So we are closing that lane in here, right? For them. Or you know what? It doesn't. It changes the fees in here, but you will just say both of these westbound lanes are open and the eastbound traffic is going towards the opposite side of the lane and nothing is closed on the westbound side. Yeah, so that's about it uh, from the traffic impact section point of view. Another example is the buffer lane. So if you have a buffer lane in here, what you need to do is, again, I'll select the cross section in here, right click once, right click twice. I'll have two lanes and the third lane is a buffer lane. So similar to that on the southbound side also have two lanes and the third lane is a buffer lane. And if the buffer lane is closed, which is the scenario in here, we need to reflect the same in here. So buffer lane is closed for the southbound and buffer lane is closed for the northbound, right? And you will see it charges you just for the one lane itself in here. It doesn't charge you for two lanes, it just charges you for the one lane, but you need to show the buffer lane are closed both on northbound and southbound side so that the drivers who are using this public facing web page, they will be able to know that the buffer lane is closed. In there, okay, what else? Uh, 6 lane, 2 lane, 6 lane road, 2 lanes left lane closed. Again, very simple. In here, I'll have 3 lanes open, 3 lanes open, and I'm closing 2 of them in here. So what I need to do is just normal and closed, and that's about it. That's how I will reflect this in here. So yeah, that's the gist of the traffic impact section and how to fill out the traffic impact section in here. Other than that, If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us at rodars@rono.ca, and we will try and able to help you in filling these out. Again, these needs to be filled properly because of two reasons. One is because of the fee. So if you are, giving us the wrong dates, it will calculate the number of days wrong, and it will may give you a higher fee. But if you are submitting as per the correct dates, it will give you a lesser fee. So I'll highly suggest, if you have multiple phases specifically, right? Uh, Give us the overall duration of project in here, and then submit different multiple phases with the best with the best knowledge of your dates regarding each phase. Submit it separately. Right? Yeah, and that's about it. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Uh, Again, if any questions or concern, please reach out to us at rodars@rono.ca. Thank you everyone.